Okay, what do you do when you have friends arriving in mere hours for a witchy tea, but you don't actually have any witchy decor and your vibe isn't totally black, dark, death Halloween? You grab your glue gun and you make some pastel goth decor. Welcome to Laugh Cry DIY. I am Katie, and this is not a drill. I really have people coming over in mere hours, and I decided that I needed to zhuzh our little table to be a little bit more fun, a little bit more spooky, but not absolutely totally terrifying. And so I decided I should just make a few fun pieces of pastel goth decor. If you're not familiar with pastel goth, think of Victorian, think of goth, and then put it in pastel colors. Because I'm hosting a witchy tea, and all of my teacups are honestly in pastel colors, I thought this would be the way to go. And although I don't have a lot of time, I do have a very janky glue gun, and I think I can pull off some decent things with this. So today we're gonna be creating 3 pieces of decor for my dining table, and although they're for the table setting of my tea party, I think you guys can totally adapt them in fun ways around your house for your own little Halloween pastel goth decor, if that's the type of witch you are. So to start, we need some placemats, and we're gonna do some little spiderweb placemats. And I'm going to create them by doing a bunch of little spider webs and then connecting them kind of like a collar, and then that way the plate will sit on top of that. This is very simple. You just need a silicone mold or something to peel the hot glue off of. Oh boy, why do I get these ideas last minute and late at night? Okay, if you haven't made a spider web before, this is how you do it. You start with a little circle in the middle, then you draw spokes out from there, and then you connect the sides with your little swoopy web. And then you just follow that pattern at intervals all throughout. And the more kind of swoopy you do the lines where they have that like curve, the better it is. All right, I did a few others. You can see how they all look on camera. Do you guys hear the gun creeping like a creaky old haunted house? No, if I'm honest, I would actually love this to be one large spider web that the plate sits on. However, I have a bit of a moment of hell. I use the world's best glue sticks in the world, which are Gorilla Gun hot glue sticks. They are very, very tough and very sticky. Unfortunately, they all fell out into my mixed bag of glue gun sticks. And I think wax paper would work with normal glue gun sticks, but I have a feeling when I did my test one that I made it entirely with Gorilla Glue gun sticks, and it was really impossible to get it off the wax paper. They would have been really, really cool, but if you can see up close, everything is stuck in the wax paper. It is crumbly and the edges are rough. It's all weird, so great idea. What a fail for me. However, you can get a silicone mat online for like $3, but guess what we don't have time for? Ordering silicone mats online. These are silicone coaster molds that I used in my recent episode in which I preserved my wedding bouquet in resin coasters. That episode is linked below if you would like to see it. And now it's ASMR time. And now, if you work with hot glue, you know you get spider webs and all those little things. I'm also really trimming off the little ends because if those stick on, they look like snowflakes to me, so they must die. Fun fact, I think I've talked about on the channel before, you can actually preserve real spider webs, hit them with some spray paint and then some black cardstock, and you just whoosh over the spider web. It's really cool, and a subscriber sent me some cards she had made with real spider webs, and oh, they're really beautiful. I do love that the Halloween decorating trend has become that they're making a lot of different decorations in a lot of different styles, because I, like millions of Americans, struggle with how to decorate seasonally within my own style, you know? And look, to be honest, this one's a dud. We're gonna redo. Thank you so much. This is Baguette. She's my familiar. While we wait for this to dry, do you wanna know a fact about the Salem witch trials, which I find amazing? Giles Corey was one of the men who was put to death, and he was put to death by pressing of stones. And his quote was, when they asked him if he would repent, he said, "More weight," which I think is very bold. And he did that because if he had repented after being accused, he would have lost his land. But he knew that he would rather just die and ensure that his children and family got the land. And so I deeply admire him for sticking to his guns, even though he was being falsely accused. So Giles Corey, this set of pastel goth decor is for you. Now we are going to connect our little webs of lies. Okay, I know this angle is awkward. So in a dream world, I would have the entire interior made up of the little webs, so it would be kind of like a full connected mat. But realistically, it's gonna be more like this little collar. And I'm just connecting hot glue just at these little tiny little joints. And you kind of want the spiky sides out from the plate so that it really kind of like shows how creepy it is, you know what I mean? Okay, I glued those. And guess what, guys? I knew this morning I was not gonna have much time, so I actually already made 3 other ones. So look, guys, you can see how they're all just kind of together, like literally like serving. We're gonna set these aside because we're gonna spray paint them later. You know, in hindsight, my table, she has a nonstick surface. In hindsight, I could have used her to make the large spiderweb mats, but it could have been a risk. So you have to forgive yourself because you do with the tools that you have at the time and you know better what to do. Next up, I wanna make some napkin rings, and we already did spiders. Spiders are very last season at this point. Now we're doing bats. And I wanted to just do some simple little napkin rings with little bats on them. And I was playing off screen, and I was basically making the bats out of hot glue, which you can do or cut into different shapes. But then I realized, looking through my stash, oh my gosh, guys, I already have a bag of little frickin' bats. In the last couple years, a subscriber had sent me a mystery box of supplies challenging me to craft with them. And they included these little plastic bats, which are actually meant to be the caps of a little line of string lights, but here they are. In a previous episode, I used these as little sconce candle holders for my cat's dining room. Long story, video linked below. So I realized I should really just repurpose these, but you guys could totally do little bats at home in whatever shape you want. Just make sure they don't look like the Batman symbol. It's kind of hard to do that with bats, but just Google some bat illustrations and you'll find them. So we're not trying to be too fancy here. I went in my bag of stuff, I pulled out this random bead necklace, but it has some elastic on it. So I am going to, You knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. Why did we act like that wasn't coming? All right, I got some other little elastic. Let's try this. This will be easier for all of us, I think. And now I'm just gonna tie a little knot to keep those bad boys together. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, all the different sizes. I mean, all the same size. Okay, we're gonna spray paint these all separately, but the idea is we're just gonna attach the little bats to the beads with some hot glue once it's all dry. Easy peasy, easy peasy. Okay, last one. I wanted a little centerpiece or a little like item on the table, and I wanted a sort of Victorian urn looking vase. And what I have is a bunch of empty jars and miscellaneous items. So I have this kind of cute little like ornate vase, but I wanted to figure out what silhouette of item I should put on it. First I had like this guy who's like kind of a tall hurricane glass. Then I had this guy who's kind of like ornate, it looks like an oil lamp. And then I had this guy has these like sloped sides. This one feels more urn-like to me with the kind of angled out. And I wanted to zhuzh it up a little bit more and kind of make it kind of more Grecian urn style, I guess. So I found these are just little like old drawer handles. And I was like, oh wait, I could put it like that and that could kind of be cool. So I think this guy's gonna be our winner. So I'm gonna attach the base first. Honestly, let's do this upside down and make sure he's nicely centered. Okay, so look, if I had a lot more time, I would really zhuzh this vase up. I would be doing trim, I would be doing drama, I would be doing a lot. But hot glue can be finicky. I don't have that much time, so I'm just gonna do a few little subtle things to sass it up. And one of those is, we have these handles, and I wanted to add a little detail to the edge. Ideally, some kind of little like spikes. For inspiration, I was looking at Victorian urns and man, some of those are just so gorgeous and ornate. Wish we had time to do it. Okay, I think you have figured out that if you do the ball and you pull out and then you kind of like twist around, it gives you a little bit more of that spike. See it? Woo! Almost lost one, all right. I do want to attempt some appliques to put on here, but I know it can look a little bit janky kind of quickly, so gonna have to see what that all works like. I have been trying to make little flowers, trying to make little skulls, crossbones. I really wanted to make a like badge to put on and like maybe write RIP in, but it's just gonna look janky, I know it. All right, I'm gonna de-web these dang things, but like this part worked, so I'm happy with that. God, I wish I had any stickers, any like, anything. I just don't have anything. But man, if you guys have little appliques, if you have little stickers, you could like do so much cool stuff. So let's get these on and we're gonna paint them. All right, and because I'm gonna work with what's in my stash, we're using this lavender spray paint as our thing for everything, and we're gonna do that now. All right, I'm gonna let those dry. I'm gonna clean everything up, and we're gonna come back for our very pretty, very witchy Pastel Goth reveal. Well, you guys, I can't believe we did it. I can't believe I pulled it off. Truly on a hope, a wish, and a dream, and a prayer. But I have to say, this is kind of the Pastel Goth table of my dreams, so I feel really, really proud and happy that we put this together with everything we had on hand. And I hope you guys got a little witchy inspiration for yourselves. So I gotta clean and make some tea, but I will see you guys next time. Bye.